go to our friend Bitdefender from Cancun, Mexico. This is not Eric from Cancun. This is a different Cancun caller who goes by Bitdefender. Bit, you're on.
Hello, David.
Hello.
I hope you're well. I wanted to talk about something that happened in Mexico that I think some Americans ought to know, just in case something similar happens in the States.
Okay.
So the 10th of April, we had a special election of sorts, elección de revocación de mandato, which is essentially an election where you go to vote to get rid of the president.
Is it almost like it's almost like a no confidence vote of the people, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, it sounds sort of democratic, but the reality of it is that it's something that mostly exists in autocratic countries and countries that, well, leaders that want to campaign constantly. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Especially in countries that pretend or have democratic systems that, you know, have electoral law of sorts. But you very well know that the elections are not fair and free.
Sure.
You know, Venezuela, Ecuador, some other Latin American countries have this form, and now Mexico has it. Given the rise of these forms of, you know, government and governors, do you think we will see something similar in the States?
I don't think so. I think it would be how presidential elections run, at least in theory, is so set in stone that I don't believe that there's going to be the putting in the instatement of such a mechanism. And also, you know, as you point out, one of the ideas of it, the propaganda value of it, is that you can kind of constantly be running an election, and that can sometimes help to coalesce and organize people. The Republican Party has already figured out how to do the same thing by saying Democrats are going to try to steal it, which is what they did in 2020. And so they already kind of have a mechanism to make that rallying cry. So no, I don't expect that to be instated in the United States.
Also, now that you mention it, when, you know, given the nature of electoral law in the States, what gives you so much confidence that, you know, electoral law is so set in stone? You know, me coming from a country where we have an actual federal institute dedicated to electoral management, and the States don't really have one, you know?
I mean, I don't. Maybe I'm naive to think that, but the only real sense I have is that if anything was going to structurally change the way elections are done, it would be something like the National Popular Vote Interstate Compact, where states can decide.
Oh, yeah.
We'll just give our electors to the winner of the popular vote. But beyond that, there's not really any serious initiatives there. I mean, they're trying to steal it by not officially changing the big picture, but by doing voter suppression at the state level, strategic voter ID, closing polling places. They're looking to do it piecemeal rather than with any big mechanism like a public no confidence vote or that type of. It's just what they're doing. So I'm basing it on what I see.
Absolutely. No. Well, that's about it. Thank you, dude.
All right, thank you. There's Bitdefender from Cancun. My audience knows I read. I read a ton of books. I read nonfiction. I read fiction at night. I'm always trying to consume information. And the truth is, I don't have the time to read every nonfiction book that I would like to read. One thing I do not have time to add to what I'm reading in paper form is more history, but I want to know about history. And that's where our sponsor, Blinkist, comes in. Blinkist doesn't replace reading books cover to cover the way I love to do. But for example, with everything going on right now with Roe v. Wade, I wanted more of a detailed history of Roe v. Wade in the United States. So on Blinkist, I was able to get a 15-minute condensed audiobook of the Mary Ziegler book, Abortion and the Law in America, Roe v. Wade to the Present. And in 15 minutes, I get a great overview. Blinkist also has slide presentations that will take you about 15 minutes to go through. So it's not to replace reading. It's in addition to, for me, you get the key takeaways from Blinkist from the books I would certainly otherwise miss out on. You can try Blinkist for free for 7 days and get a 25% discount off of a subscription at Blinkist.com/Pacman. The link is down below.